Hey, Benjamin Ling here, Altitude Capitalist, and coming to you today with a box break of 1987 Topps Wax Baseball. Wanted to compare the condition of these cards in the wax packs with the cards that we looked at yesterday in a factory set. We got some really high quality cards out of the factory set yesterday. Corners were very sharp. The sides were great. The surface was great on these cards. There was a little bit of centering issues, mainly left to right. There's a lot that were around 60-40 centered left to right. But overall, the condition of the cards in that factory set, the condition was fantastic. So we're going to tear through these pretty quickly and look and see what condition we get out of these packs. The person who sold this box said it was fresh out of a case, and it looks relatively in good condition. I noticed some of this perforation is it's broken apart a little bit, and this is broken at the top. But I believe it looks like he was selling a bunch of these. As a reminder, the key players we're looking for here: Barry Bonds, Don Mattingly, Nolan Ryan, Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire, Barry Larkin are some of the cards in this set. So let's get started. That's about what I expected it to look like. These seem pretty tight in there. This is folded down pretty factory fresh, so not thinking that these have been searched at all. Gum kind of stuck to these. Obviously, there are no gum marks in the factory set. Barry Bonds, first pack. Centering looks maybe a tiny bit off, maybe 55-45 left to right. Surface looks good. Corners look pretty good from what I could tell. So we'll set that guy aside. And Wade Boggs came right after that. Wade Boggs All-Star. This also looks like it's in great condition. And here's a Bo Jackson. Unfortunately, it's on the back. I can see there's a wax stain on the back of there. So first two packs got two of the top guys in the set. Two of the top Topps rookie cards for this set. There's the Pete Rose. This is off center, top to bottom. Eddie Murray. This is pretty well centered. A lot of Hall of Famers in this set. This guy not being one of them for obvious reasons. So this Bo Jackson has some damage to this upper left-hand corner as well. So that would not have been PSA 10, and maybe you can see the discoloration near the top, near his last name. That's from the wax with the gum. So, couple good cards out of the first two packs. That left a bit of a gum stain as well. There's the other Pete Rose card that's in this set. Pete Rose, a player card and a manager card. That looks like it's in good condition. Carlton Fisk, Whitaker, Dave Righetti All-Star. Moving on. Some damage to that card from the bubblegum. Doc Gooden. That's very cut there. I've never heard of that guy, actually. There's Mattingly All-Star. It's pretty good shape. Puckett All-Star. Good shape as well. It's Paul Molitor. Another Mattingly All-Star, another Puckett All-Star. That was the second Andreas Thomas card. My memory serves me. Schmidt. There's a little bit of damage to that. So here's something to consider. So this here, this has some wax stains here. This card here, I'm going to bet there's a stain from the gum when I take this off. Sure enough, there is. This is something to consider. These come 15 to a pack, but almost every pack that I've opened so far has 2 damaged cards right out of the gate. And unfortunately for one of them, it was one of the premier cards in the Bo Jackson. So that's, something that you have to consider when you're, buying these wax packs. You're getting 15 cards in a pack, but really you're probably only going to get 13 cards that have a chance at getting you the PSA 10 that you're looking for. Carlton. Again, wax damage there. We'll have some bubblegum damage there. Okay. Tony Gwynn, miscut. A lot of these are cut pretty bad. Up and down, off center. Sandberg looks pretty good. Take that. I'm not even going to try to fight with some of these pieces of gum. They're stuck so hard to these cards. Look at that. That's pretty awful. Gary Carter, that's cut pretty bad too. Okay. Next pack. This box started out pretty hot. A little bit into a cold streak now. Another good one. I'm seeing a lot of repeat cards in these. Maybe we'll get a repeat of the Bo Jackson or the Barry Bonds that came out of the very first pack. Dave Winfield looking good. If you turn back the clocks in this set, there's a Rickey Henderson. There's a Reggie Jackson, obviously. I think there's a Yaz as well. I like the father-son cards they used to do. I don't remember what years they had those, but I've always thought those were cool cards. Nothing. We've gone cold here in the middle of the box. I'm just tossing these cards to the side because it's hard to get this off, and it'll make it go faster for you guys watching. Again, really off center. Most of the cards in this pack are pretty off center. At least that first half of the pack were not good. Okay. Seen a couple Vince Coleman, seen a couple Keith Hernandez in this box so far. Mattingly, awful. Price. Look at that. I'm noticing the first half of the packs are seeing a lot of miscut. I bet the stuff on the other side of this promotion card is going to look a lot better. No, not quite. It's getting better. Palmero looks pretty good. Some damage to the side of that Harold Baines card I just dropped. Here's a Rickey Henderson, turn back the clock. I mentioned earlier, here's a Ripken. This is off center. Centering's tough on these. Centering's tough on the stuff coming out of this box. That being said, the condition of the cards are pretty good. I opened up a box of 1984 Topps a couple days ago, and the condition was rough. The corners on almost all of them were brutal. And the first half of the pack were really bad miscuts here. Same story. Miscut. North to south. Look at that. Awful. Luckily, some of the better players were coming in the second half of the packs here. So, it's the Yaz turn back the clock. His son's playing the big, or his grandson's playing the big leagues now. Not sure who he plays for, but I saw that on TV recently. There's the Will Clark. You know, we're really getting lucky. The better players are coming in the second half of this pack where they're not brutally miscut. Cal. Still no Nolan Ryan. I'd like to see Nolan Ryan show up. I'd like to see Jose Canseco show up in the last few packs here. That'd be nice. Preferably not miscut. Nothing in there. Okay. Gibson, it's damaged. So far, I like the physical condition of these cards. Aside from them being miscut, they look like they're in good shape as far as corners and edges go. Kirby. Clemens All-Star. Okay, we're down to the last 8 packs. Still waiting for Mr. Canseco to make an appearance. Or a Mark McGwire. That'd be nice to see either of those guys. Started out hot, getting some mean reversion here, I think. Jim Rice with the gum stuck to it. Another Hall of Famer. This set's packed with Hall of Famers. I don't know. I think they kind of let in some pretty marginal Hall of Famers over the last 5 to 10 years. I'll keep my opinions to myself for the rest of this, though. I know that's controversial. We're here to talk about card conditions, not the merits of different Hall of Famers. Okay, 5 more packs after this one. Here's a George Brett with bubblegum on it. These are going to be really miscut. Look at that down there. Hopefully, our Mark McGwire is not in this next 5 or 6 cards. Reggie, it's all right. Barry Larkin, this looks good. That corner might be bad. We'll take a closer look at that. We're looking at the goal is to find a few that are worth sending to PSA for grading that we think would come up as a 10. And a good friend of mine has a magnifying loupe, little tiny magnifying glass that we use to look at this stuff. It's almost impossible to discern a PSA 9 from a PSA 10 with the naked eye. There's some very subtle nuances that make the difference. And for cards like 87 Topps, it's worth it to send in if you have a PSA 10, but if it comes back a 9, you've kind of wasted your money and your time. Because anything that we send in now, we're not going to be getting back from PSA until the year 2021. Okay, so we started off with 2 really strong packs. Let's see if we can finish really strong with these last 2 packs in the box. And after this, a couple final comments on what I think about these cards versus the 87 Topps cards we pulled out of the factory set. It's not really finishing strong, but we got 1 left here. Let's see what we got in this final pack. Baby crying in the other room. Okay. Nope. Okay. Well, hey, couple of my thoughts on this. The condition of these cards, I think, is great. The centering, not so great, but the corners, the edges, the surfaces all look good. Another thing to remember is there's 15 cards in a pack, but only 13 of them were really had any hope of being a PSA 10 because you have damage on one side and bubblegum damage on the other side. So a couple things to consider if you're pulling 87 Topps cards with the hopes of sending stuff to PSA. You obviously won't encounter that if you're buying the complete sets. Also, if you're buying the complete sets, you're going to get 1 chance of each of the star players. Here, we were missing some of the star players. We didn't see Nolan Ryan. We didn't see Mark McGwire. We didn't see Jose Canseco. So just something else to consider as you're strategizing about your collection. But hope you enjoyed this. Would love to hear your opinion on what you saw in terms of the condition of these cards and what you think about the 87 Topps sets. One of my favorite sets just from the perspective of aesthetics. I think they look great. So thank you. Have a great day.